Assalamu alaikum students, hope you are well and lots of prayer for your well-beings. Today our lecture is again about testing of hypothesis. As you know, this course relates with the applied statistic for managers, and in applied statistic we deals with the branch of statistic that is called statistical inference, that is mostly about the estimation, prediction, forecasting and decision making. And we have mostly this course emphasizes on the estimation, point estimation, interval estimation with the help of sampling techniques. Then we also have our testing of hypothesis and testing of hypothesis concerning with the population means, with the population variances, when sample sizes are small and when sample sizes are large. So these lectures are about about the testing of hypothesis and are relating to the Z test, T test and F test. Up till now we have completed. So today's our last lecture is about the testing of hypothesis and concerning population mean and variances, and I tried to review with the help of numerical exercises in this lecture. So this lecture is about the revision exercises on Z test, T test and F test, and I am sure after this lecture it will be clear to you how to manipulate the process of testing of hypothesis and how to find out or infer something about after testing the hypothesis, after using the technique of testing the hypothesis. We will start our revision exercises with the Z test, and Z test is relates with the testing of hypothesis concerning population means, and Z test relates with us when sample size is large, population is normal, population parameters are known and population is well defined. Then we use the Z test. First numerical is about when sigma is known. A sample of 400 has sample mean 6, x bar is equal to 6. It can be regarded as simple sample from a large population with mean 6.25 inches and standard deviation of 2.25 inches. Use alpha at 0.05 and we have to test the hypothesis. So first we write down and note down what things are available into the question, and availability is that sample size n is equal to 400, sample mean is 6, population mean is 6.25 and population standard deviation is 2.25, alpha is 0.05, and null hypothesis will be, we are testing the population mean, so null hypothesis will be mu is equal to 6.25, and the hypothesis other than the null hypothesis is alternative hypothesis, which is mu is not is equal to 6.25. Level of significance is given 0.05. So sample size is large, we will use the test statistic, and the population is normal and also the population parameters are known. So that's why we uses the Z statistic, and Z statistic formula is x bar sample mean minus population mean mu over population standard deviation sigma over n square root, n is the sample size. So after the necessary calculation we have to put the values, x instead of x bar 6, instead of mu 6.25, instead of sigma 2.25. Sigma is the population standard deviation and 400 is the sample size. After calculation we got minus 2.22. Critical region is that if the calculated value is greater than the Z table value, and we reject the H naught, which is the plus minus 1.96, and our calculated value is greater than the tabulated value. So what it means that we have to reject H naught. Similarly, dear student, this question is again about the z-test, and it is more clearly solved for you. Here sample mean is 6, sample population mean is 6.2, population standard deviation is 2.25, and sample size is 400. What we got 1.78 after the calculations, and our tabulated value is plus minus 1.96, and our calculated value is minus 1.78. so we will accept H0 since the calculated value falls in the acceptance region. Similarly, next question is given to you, and its solution will be on the next slide. Here is the solution of the previous slide question, and also again a new question and its solution. I am sure it is clear to you and there is no need to explain, and if there is any query, I am there. You can call me or text me and find out the solution. This slide again contains a question relating to when sigma is unknown. So it means we have to use the estimated standard deviation, but here because the sample size is large, if you see from the question, sample size will be large, then we use the z-test, and if the sample size is small, in case of when sigma is unknown, we will use the t-test. So here the conditions are given, but how you will formulate the null hypothesis H0 in case of when sigma is unknown, how you formulate the H1 alternative hypothesis, and what will be the test statistic, and the level of significance, and how the critical region will be. So all is given in shape of the step for testing of hypothesis procedure. That will make you more clear that what you have to do in case of when sigma is unknown. And what is the sigma? Sigma is, you know that sigma is the population standard deviation. Yes, dear students, a rare case when sample population standard deviation is unknown and sample size is large, more than, and how much large, mostly in the books is more than 100, but the books which are relating to your syllabus is more than 30. So here the sample size is 40 and standard deviation is estimated. Even then we use the z-test, and we got the value minus 0.4, and because the alpha is not now 5%, alpha is else that, then the table value is plus minus 2.58, and then we accept H0 because the calculated value falls in the acceptance region. And there is another example given to you, and its solution. So it is, I think till now z-test is very clear to you, how and when to apply z-test. Again, this slide contains the solution of the previous slide question and the new question and its solution. I am sure that you can solve it and you can understand it easily now. Again, this slide contains a problem in which the standard deviation, population standard deviation is unknown. Then when the population standard deviation is unknown, what we have to do? We have to calculate the standard deviation, sample standard deviation or estimated standard deviation by ourselves, and formula for the estimated standard deviation is sigma x minus x bar over n whole square. In some cases it is n minus 1 instead of n. We put the values and we got the table calculated value minus 1.95, and from the table values we will compare it and we will formulate our decision about the H0. Last slide, which contains the question relating to the z-test. Question is given and the process of testing is given step by step, and also the values are given. We put the values into the formula and got the value minus 2, which is our calculated value, and we will compare it with our table value and formulate our decision. So till now Z-test exercises are enough, and I'm sure they are more clear to you. You can attempt them whether you are in your research work or in exams. You are most master now with using the Z-test. Z-test and as well as T-test. T-test, when we use T-test relates also with the testing of hypothesis concerning the population mean. We use T-test instead of Z-test when our population is approximately normal. Population parameters sometimes are unknown. So when the parameters are unknown, we use the estimated standard deviation, or maybe the population is not well defined. So in this case, we use the T-test, and our sample sizes are mostly small. How much small? In some cases it is less than 100, and some cases less than 30. Then we use the T-test. T-test has its own table concerning the critical region or acceptance region values. As in Z-test, we have table values relating to the level of significance, but in T-test relating to the level of significance as well as we have a degree of freedom also. So let's see in few examples how to use T-test when we have the problems of testing, and we will revise it into 2-3 questions. I hope it will be again more clear to you. Yes, my dear and respected students, concerning to the T-test, we have a null hypothesis as it was in Z-test. Mu is equal to mu naught, and most condition which is applicable for the T-test is when n is less than 30 or n is small. In other words, question is for a random sample of 10 from a normal population. Sample mean is 20, x bar is 20, and sum of x square is equal to 5144. Test the hypothesis that the mean in the population is 19.50 and alpha is 0.01. So you see that we have to test the population mean. So it's the testing of hypothesis concerning the population mean. Then you see the random sample of size is 10, so sample size is less than 30. Next, sample mean is 20, and sum of x square is given to you. It means you have population is not well defined. So if the population will be well defined, we must have population standard deviation. So here population standard deviation is missing. So we will use the formula. First we will find out the estimated standard deviation, and then we will use it into the T-test or T-statistic. Null hypothesis will be the same which we are testing, mu is equal to 19.50, or alternative hypothesis will be mu is not equal to 19.50. Level of significance is given to you 0.01, and test statistic is mean, sample mean minus population mean over estimated standard deviation over n square root. X bar minus mu over s over n square root. Necessary calculation to find out s is sum of x square minus n sum of x bar square over n minus 1, and we got it as 11.274. In T statistic we put the values 20 minus 19.5 over 11.274 divided by 10 square root, and got the value 0.14. So now we will see the table values into T tables of degree of freedom. N is 10, so DF degree of freedom is n minus 1, so 10 minus 1 is 9. So we will see the table value against degree of freedom value, which is denoted by V at 9 and alpha at 0.01, and then we will formulate our result or our decision according to the given value. So the table values of T at 0.005 alpha by 2 at 9, degree of freedom is 3.25 and minus 3.25, and our calculated value is less than 3.25, and we concluded that the population mean is 19.50. So we accept H naught, that our calculated value lies in the acceptance region. Next question is also relating to the t-test and have the same procedure. Values of S is not given, but the sum of x minus x bar whole square is given. We will put the values into the formula of standard deviation, which you know is sum of x minus x bar whole square over n, or sometimes n minus 1. So then we find out the standard deviation value in the t-test t-statistic and got the values, and we will proceed the same procedure for testing of hypothesis and got the result. I hope everything is there and it will be clear to you and there will be no problem. Again, this slide is relating with the t-test, but the situation is different. In t-test questions, students, everything is the same, just the difference is relating with the standard deviation, estimated standard deviation. Sometimes they gave you just the ungrouped values 5, 6, 7, 8, and you have to find out its standard deviation. Sometimes they gave you the x minus x bar whole square and you have to find out the standard deviation. And sometimes, like this question, they gave you the values of x minus 33, 111, minus 88, 47, minus 12, 26, sum of x 51. You have to find out by yourself sum of x square, and you have to put into the formula of standard deviation, and you have to find out the standard deviation. The rest of the process will be the same. For you have to put the values into the t-statistic, you have to find out the table value of t, and you have to compare the calculated and tabulated value, and you have to formulate your decision. So in t-test, the difference, the rest of the procedure will be the same, just you have to be little bit careful about the calculating the estimated standard deviation. Again, dear students, you will see this question is relating to the t-test, as the sample size is small, but again you have to estimate the standard deviation, and here you have to estimate the standard deviation in a different way. Values of x are given to you, you have to find out x square, and you have to put into the formula and find out the estimated standard deviation, and then you will proceed with the same process of testing the hypothesis concerning the t-test or t-statistic. Yes, dear students, I'm sure you are through with now z-test and t-test, and if the question, any type of question you have to face into the exam or into the books or in your research work, you will quickly go through it. So after the z-test and t-test, both tests are concerning with the population mean, we step forward towards testing of hypothesis concerning population variances. And concerning population variances, our first test is F-test. Here we test the variances from a same population. We will take 2 samples from the same population, and we will test that the variances of both the samples, the 2 samples from the same populations, the variances have no difference. And when we test such a thing, it is relating to our F-test. Process of testing of hypothesis will be the same, just the table values are changed and our F-statistic formula is changed, which is the relationship or the ratio between the 2 variances. Let's see some exercises relating to the F-test. Here is a question relating to the F-test. You have 2 samples, 16. First sample is 16, 16, 50, 16, and second sample is 13, 41, 6.3, 15.6, and third sample is about 160, 128, 17, and alpha. Then their ratios are given. N1 is 16, N2 is 16, and S1 square is 50, S2 square is 16, alpha is 0.05. H naught is that the relationship between both the variances is the same, and the alternative hypothesis is the relationship is not same, it is greater than or less than any situation. So we formulate the null hypothesis, sigma 1 square over sigma 2 square is equal to 1, and alternative will be that sigma 1 square over sigma 2 square is not equal to 1, it may be greater than 1 or it may be less than 1, and level of significance is 0.05. After putting the values in the F statistic, S1 sigma 1 square or S1 square over S2 square, S1 square was 50, S2 square was 16, so we got 3.125, and the table value which of F relating to the degree of freedom, first degree of freedom N1 minus 1 and second degree of freedom N2 minus 1 V2 at the alpha 0.05 is 2.40. Students, you have the F tables I provided you in the previous lectures. If you see F in t-test, we have a one table relating to the level of significance at 5%, 1%, 10%. Similarly, in z-test we have a z table relating to the 5%, 1% and 10% level of significance, but in F test we have a separate table for separate level of significance. At 5% level of significance we have a separate table, and at 1% level of significance we have a separate table. So for the level of significance 5%, you will see V1 and V2, value of V2 against V1, and you got 2.40. So you will check that whether the calculated value falls into the acceptance region, but our calculated value is 3.125, which is greater than 2.50. So our H naught is rejected, and next question is N1 is 13, N2 is 41, sigma 1 square is 6.3 and sigma 2 square is 15.6, alpha is 0.01, H naught and H1 conditions are given to you. You have to use the F test, and you will see in the remaining slides or in the next slide what will be the procedure, and you will follow the same steps and find out what is the process for using F test. This slide is again about the F test. Question is given to you in which both the sample size of two samples are given, both the standard deviation of two samples are given, level of significance is given to you, and the condition of null and alternative hypothesis given to you. You have to test the hypothesis about the population variances using the F statistic, which is sigma 1 square over sigma 2 square, and you will put the values. You will got the table value, calculated value, and you will compare it with the table value, and then you will formulate the your result of your hypothesis. So this procedure will be the same in the coming slides, and in the coming slides also there are questions relating to the F test. I am sure they are clear and easy to you, and you will till now much more familiar with the F test also. So dear students, this is the last slide and the last exercise problem relating to your F test. I'm sure you are now more familiar how to solve the problems relating to Z test, T test and F test. One topic relating to your syllabus is left, that is ANOVA table, and in lecture number 11 and 12 I will make it clear to you, and the rest in 2-3 lectures I will give you more exercises relating to your topics or to our topics, and relating to the softwares which are important into the statistical studies, which are helpful also in research work or in other data collection processes. So few topics from your syllabus are left, that is ANOVA and the statistical softwares relating to the social sciences. 2 topics are left. So from in lecture number 11 and 12 I will make them clear, and then we will be in coming 2 lectures we will be completing our syllabus. Exams are nearby, so hope for the best. If there is any query, any problem relating to this question, you can ask anytime. Hope for the best. Lots of love and respects. Take care. Khuda Hafiz.